Good morning, everyone. Well, we made it to our new home. We made it like sick, wounded pups.
We came limping in.
We were both sick, and I have had a hobbled foot, but we're getting settled into our new lifestyle. And I got to tell you guys, we are starting from scratch. If you remember, we sold everything we owned before we left. Everything that we have now is either in the van or in our suitcases or in the bank account. So we are like teenagers getting our first apartment.
We've got nothing.
And anyway, this video is not about that. This video is our first experiences here in the United States. And as you guys know, we traveled through 55 countries in the van over the course of the last 6.5 years. And every time we entered a new country, we'd always give you our first impressions of that country. We have viewers from all over the world now, our international community. We love you guys. Welcome to the United States. Welcome to our country. But woo, the first thing we experienced when we got here was culture shock.
Yeah, it's definitely different than we remember.
Yeah, it's not only different, but one of the things is for the last couple years, we have been over in Europe and in Africa, and those continents where we've been have been about a 6 to 8 hour time difference.
Even 9 if you count Turkey.
6 to 9 hour time difference. And so there's a jet lag factor, obviously.
But also we had gotten used to the certain times of day having to communicate with family because of the time difference. You can't just call somebody and it'd be 3 o'clock in the morning. So being back on the time zone of our family and all of that, not only are we recovering from jet lag on top of everything else, but the time zone and southern hemisphere to northern hemisphere. It's winter here.
Yeah.
It was summer when we left Africa.
Yeah, we were like coming from spring to the winter. So
now, on that note, I have to chime in and just say, for those of you that don't know, our new home is in Florida. I was born and raised in Florida, and there's this crazy cold snap, freeze stuff going on. And I have declared that Florida is broken. And I am ready for this freezing weather to go away and us have a normal Florida winter.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'm sorry.
No, so really the time difference, the season difference, all that stuff has been sort of from a first impression state, kind of a little bit different and a little shocking. But on the positive note, our phone situation, speaking and communication, is better. Now, when we started on this journey, we used Google Fi, and they would easily transfer from country to country. But after, I think, 2 years out of country, they cut us off.
And we still had our phone number, but our texting wasn't reliable. It just got a little iffy, and we had to move to WhatsApp, which we've learned over the past however many years that most of the world relies heavily on WhatsApp. But here in the United States, a good portion of the population doesn't use WhatsApp. So communicating with our family over the past 6 years has been, trying sometimes, especially with, no offense to the older generation, but trying to get them set up on WhatsApp and understand how to work it. It has worked with some of them and not with others. But now we're back to traditional texting with our family and friends here. So the communication has gotten easier for us.
It sure makes the border crossings a lot easier. And this was our easiest, even at the airport. We walked through.
Yeah.
They had some sort of face recognition.
We didn't even have to give our passports.
So we walked right in, other than Snow having to lug us through the airport. Yeah. But also, we didn't have to get SIM cards for our phone, and we're now using US dollars. And I know that seems like, no duh. But that just makes things easy for us. All our bank cards work as they're supposed to. We don't have to exchange currency. And
nice.
The one downside is the value has lost some value in the world. And things are expensive here, guys.
Yeah.
But the roads are
Worth every
Awesome.
penny.
Oh man, the roads have been smooth. The highways are wide. There's good signage. There's good striping.
Yeah, now you know us. We're always going to be fair in comparing country to country, and we're going to continue to do that while we're here in the States when we compare it to other countries. But I have no problem saying that of the over 60 countries we've visited in our entire lifetime, the United States has the best road system in the world. I got no problem saying that.
If you come here as a visitor, and even if you live here, though, you have to be careful because there are a lot of police on the roadways, speed traps.
They all have radars.
They all have radars. And, you know, in the van, we were always going, most of the time, we were going slower than the speed limit naturally anyway. But these little cars race around. And you can look out and find yourself, if you're not careful, going 80 and a 70.
It's crazy.
And so you always have to be on the lookout for the speed limit and the police.
And speaking of van and car, two things. We did get us a new vehicle here. We have a Ford Explorer. We'll address more of that in a future video. And it can go very fast, very quickly. And a van update. It's on the ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're tracking it. We can see kind of where it is and move through a little 1-month paid subscription I did. But right now, it's on schedule to be here on time. It takes it 5 to 6 weeks to get here, and things are looking good so far.
We'll see. It's on the boat. It's just leaving Africa, so it's early to tell.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you posted in upcoming videos. But I got to tell you, after driving the van for 6.5 years, these cars have a lot of new technology. They speed up, they slow down. There's so many little automated features.
And I know most of you, especially our viewers here in the States, are so accustomed to that you probably don't even know what we're talking about. But back up 7 or 8 years ago, your car didn't have all those features. So for that to happen overnight for us, you're driving along and your car just starts to slow itself down. It can scare you if you don't know what's going on. But we're adjusting.
These are nice features, but also takes a little get used to, so it falls in theme with culture shock.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, the fuel prices here are delicious.
Yes.
I mean, we have paid almost double what we pay here around the world.
Yeah, in some places, yeah.
And this is kind of another thing, is everything here is in no metric. The rest of the world uses metric. So here, obviously, it's miles, feet, gallons, those standard measurements, not metric.
Yeah.
But gas here is about less than $3 a gallon, right around.
You can get it at just under $3, $2.90, $2.95 if you're shopping. Now, if you pull into the wrong place, it may be $3.05 or whatever, and that's per gallon. So right here on the screen for our international folks, we'll put that liter price for you.
But and rest of the world charges in liter prices. But if you kind of do the conversions, it was rare that we would pay less than $4.50 a gallon,
and up to $7,
and even up to $8. I think in some places in Europe. So anyway, the gas prices have been good, but when you go to the pump, you have to pump your own gas.
And most people in the United States will not understand this, but this is pretty much the only country in the world where you pull up to the gas station and you get out and you pump your own gas. Now we know, I believe it's Oregon has some laws and they have people that pump your gas. But every other state, if you can find someone that'll pump your gas, you have found a very special gas station. So even if it's cold or it's raining or you're in really nice clothes, you still got to get out and try not to get that gas smell on you and all of that. I miss that. I wish people filled our gas tanks up here.
Who really wants to pump your own gas? But anyway, also, there's just so many gas stations. Like if you're headed down the highway, there's a fuel station at every exit ramp, it almost seems like. And so we don't have to worry about finding fuel. We don't have to worry about when we get there, them being closed or being out.
And our ATM, our credit cards are going to work everywhere. So it's really convenient.
And speaking of convenience, also, like...
in our last video, I think we touched on it a little bit, that I was able to just have the cat supplies waiting in our friend's house in Atlanta, and we didn't have to go track it down. Well, that continues. Amazon and all delivery services, all companies that offer delivery, work so well in the United States. And we are now into getting everything we need for a new home, but we can get most of it delivered right to our doorstep. Cat food, and we should give them an update on G-Money before this video is over, but cat food, cat litter, everything we need to start setting up our house, it just comes to the door. That is not something we're used to from our van life travels.
Yeah, and also, like I told you, we came in sick,
Yeah.
and so we were able to pull in when we got to the gas station and just get some cough drops or some cold medicine, and a lot of things that are available there. However, in many countries, if you want to get any kind of medicines, even over-the-counter medicines like Tylenol and stuff like that, you have to specifically go to the pharmacy.
So for you folks here in the United States, that may not seem unusual to you to pull into the gas station, have a little cough, and be able to pick up some cough syrup. That does not happen in most countries around the world. So the convenience factor, not only delivery-wise, but what's available in the stores so readily and everywhere, is really a big deal here in the United States, which in most cases is a good thing, but in some cases may help me spend too much money.
So in terms of the medical stuff, weren't able to get all of our appointments done in Turkey because of my ankle. We came back. We still have some stuff left to do. We have to get doctors, all that type of stuff. So we are going to do some sort of
special video on that.
Yeah.
Maybe even a series of a few videos on reintegrating into the United States healthcare system, comparing apples to apples, because we've done healthcare in so many countries around the world with my heart, some dental stuff. So stay tuned for that. So we're not going to hit it too hard in these update videos. We'll do a special series on that because we think there's a lot we can share there.
Yeah, and of course, we had to get some food, so we went up to the local Walmart to get groceries, and I got to tell you a couple things about that. First of all, if you guys haven't been in one, and of course, most of our community in the United States knows this all too well, but these stores are huge, and they have everything, and don't go on a Saturday because it is like a zoo. They are super crowded. And but I gotta tell you, in terms of the variety of foods, whether it's processed or fresh produce or meats, we have not some European countries could rival it, but we have as many choices, more choices. I mean, it is so nice just to be able to grab.
Well, and we were able, when we got there, I took my empty cart, guys, and you may laugh at me, but we've been gone for a long time, and there's some things you miss, and this will tie back in a little bit to the convenience. I went straight to the condiment aisle, and I got a big bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, Heinz ketchup, which is available around the world, but still, sometimes it's not, and you're getting some off-brand. French's yellow mayonnaise, mustard,
and Duke's
mayonnaise. And I just put them there in the cart, and I was grinning from ear to ear, and it was such a happy moment that I had to take a picture and document it.
So depending where in the U.S., you might not even know what Duke's mayonnaise is. It's a Southern brand. I think it's across the U.S. now. We haven't seen it internationally. But it is nice to have some of our old favorites back that we haven't had in a long time. And we just had a lot of fun going through the grocery store.
We did our... I still have a little bit of my cold, so I'm sorry I'm coughing, guys. But we did our initial trip in the store. And it was so overwhelming and so crowded and so hectic that someone had told us, well, they'll bring it out to your car, which fascinated me. So I went online and we did our next grocery order online. And again, for those in the United States, this may seem normal, but this is not a normal thing around the world. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in some places around the world, but we ordered online. They gave us a pickup time slot. They told us when it was ready. We pull up in a special designated parking place. They brought our groceries out and loaded them in the car.
Yeah.
It was crazy cool.
So the food situation here is so many options, so many selections. Now, a lot of the food is really pricey, and I think aside from gas, that's really kind of something from a culture shock that we've experienced is the U.S. so far has been more expensive than I think any country they've been in.
Yeah.
And especially coming from like South Africa and maybe some other countries, it's shockingly expensive.
Yeah.
So
before we leave the grocery segment, I want to say this. We are having to completely restock our house and start from scratch. We've mentioned that a little bit, and we'll cover a little bit more of that as it's happening and taking place. But on that initial grocery visit, we had to get all new spices. Curt spent like 30 minutes in the spice aisle just getting everything he needed, and he was able to get chili powder. Now, chili powder must be an American thing. We have found it around the world in a few places. Yeah, but we got chili powder, and we have since had an amazing pot of chili. But anyway.
So it's really nice to have some of our old favorite items that we even forgot we missed.
Yeah.
And then another thing, and I'm sure if you're from the U.S., you're going to laugh at this, but TV. Wow. We don't need...
Streaming.
Now, first of all, we don't watch very much TV. I mean, we didn't have a TV in the van, and we haven't watched... even when we had an Airbnb, we didn't watch much TV. But we pulled up the TV, and now, like, there's all these different streaming services.
When we left, we had satellite. I think it was called DirecTV, and you had a guide, and that's how you watch TV. Now, Netflix was just kind of becoming a thing when we left.
You could get Netflix.
But I don't think we ever messed with it because we had everything we needed because we don't watch a lot of TV. Everything we needed on our DirecTV satellite. Now there's Paramount Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, ESP, Peacock.
So you have to have all these streaming systems just to watch a football game or a basketball game, and all of a sudden you want to watch something like the Olympics, and you pull it up, and you're like,
I don't have it.
Where is it? And you got to get a different streaming. Anyway, I'm sure
an adjustment.
Some of you have it worked out, and some of you could probably tell us exactly how to do it.
We're working on it.
But I'm just telling you, it's a culture shock from what we had when we left versus what it is now.
And there's been a little bit of cussing when whoever has the remote is trying to find something. I will go ahead and tell you. It's been frustrating, but we're just laughing our way through it.
And I will say that one of the first things that we wanted to do when we got here was to get G Money to the vet. And
let's remind some people who may not know, back in South Africa when we were doing their health checks, that they discovered, because he had lost a little weight, we did a blood test, that he had kidney disease. That vet gave us the impression that it was very advanced, and we were actually afraid we might lose him before we got home to the United States. That would have been devastating to us. Happily, we got him home and got him comfortable and settled over the past little bit. So that didn't happen, and we were able to get him into a vet who's actually a long-term family friend of my family's. And Dr. Bennett did some blood work, gave him a thorough checkup. All the girls in the office loved him. And you want to tell them our good news?
Well, the good news is, the bad news is he has kidney disease. Yeah. But his test results did get a little bit better. Now, we have been feeding him prescription food and also giving him a medication. The doctor said based on the blood results, he does have kidney damage, but it's early phases. And so if we can continue to get him on good food, keep him on the good prescription food and the medicines, then
we have longer with him. We'll never know how long.
We never know that.
But this boy's going to get to enjoy a traditional home life for a little while. He's
and I can tell you, in the short time the cats have been here.
Yeah, we don't normally give a first impression of the kitty cats, but we're going to here because it's been so dramatic. Our home is. It's a trailer, guys. We've moved into a trailer kind of in the backyard of my Aunt Betsy's house, but it's an extra wide one, so it's kind of nice, but it's long, like trailers are. And these guys are just running from one end of the house to the other. In the middle of the night, you'll hear them out here playing. We'll wake up, their toys will be all over the house. It didn't take them long to establish whose room was whose. We get to go outside and walk, and we'll show you some of this stuff in a later video, but we're right next to the beautiful Swanee River in a nice wooded area with no neighbors around us other than my Aunt Betsy. And the cats are really, really grooving on their new hood.
And unfortunately, with my ankle, it's been difficult for me to take G on the types of walks that I like to. But I just can't sit still, guys. And I have had him outside, and there are a bunch of squirrels here.
Oh, yeah.
And this boy and Vanna have both been out there, and they are
Their
happy.
first impression is 2 paws up. 4 paws up.
They are home.
They're home, and they know it. I think they picked up on it pretty
Whew.
quickly. They settled in. I know towards the end, especially through Africa, there were some rough times for them as well as us. But I know they enjoyed their adventures and the different smells and birds and sights from around the world, because we could tell that when we stayed at a campsite too long. So there are no regrets on us taking them on that journey. We know they enjoyed it and loved it, and we really liked having them with us. But it sure feels good to have them have a true home that's theirs.
You guys know we love our cats,
Yeah.
but I gotta tell you guys, at the end of the day, we're feeling a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's gonna take us a while to get settled in and adjust. Not only has a lot changed in this country over the last 6.5 years, a lot has changed with us.
Yeah.
And so we need to get used to our new environment, how things work, where to get stuff, and all those types of things. We have to furnish a house.
Yeah, we have to get dishes and spoons and a chair to sit on. You know, I mean, it's
a lot of stuff, guys, and we're going to work through it, and we want to take you guys along through it. And we appreciate you guys sticking through here with us on this.
We will be, I know there's been some doubts and some questions. We will be continuing our YouTube channel. Videos will continue to come.
Yeah.
For now, for the next little bit, maybe only once a week, because we are so overwhelmed and we've got a lot of stuff to go on. But we have some projects we're going to share with you guys, some ideas we're going to do. The United States is beautiful, and we're keeping the van.
Yeah.
We are not selling the van. So that's a little spoiler alert. I know some people were wondering what we were going to do with that. So the United States is a big, beautiful place, and that van's still got some more miles on it.
Yeah, and we want to explore our backyard. There are so many cool things here in Florida that you guys probably don't even know about. We need to get out to see my parents real soon. And so once we get the van back, we'll be taking a trip out there. We've got friends and family all over the U.S. And so in the long term, we're definitely going to show you guys around. Not sure the pace it's going to happen.
Yeah.
We want to get back to 2 videos, but to be honest with you, while we're working stuff, we'll keep it to 1 probably.
Yeah. We'll try to do, I'm going to try, and bear with us guys, but I'm going to try to do a few more updates on social media. But we really do just have a lot going on, and we'll share some more of the stuff that's going on in some future videos. But we wanted to make sure we got in here and got you guys an update, gave you our first impressions, and let you know the channel, the journey, it will continue.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks always for joining.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.